sure I get action on the screen. Looks good. Okay. All right. Okay. Let me get a little liquid up in this face. Turn on the happy voice. I hope Jim leaves that in. Okay, so 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hey everyone, welcome back. I know it's been a while, but Matt Haywood is here from entertainmentbuddha.com to bring you the 10th, that's right, the 10th fucking episode of the Buddhacast. Ooh. We've actually stuck to it that long to do 10 of them. I know we've kind of got a little lazy these past couple weeks, but to make up for the void, I did film a Beast of the Week and Geek last week that at least 20 people checked out. So if we never do a Buddhacast, you might be able to count on me sitting in front of a green screen and acting like an asshole. But anyways, it's a special episode tonight. It is the return of the two-man train wreck.
Yes.
So you know what that means. You heard the deep voice. That means it's just myself and the Wu-Tang Clan, Ray Pareca. What's going on, brother? How you doing?
I'm all right. I'm excited to be back. It's been a minute.
I know. Nice to have you back. Yeah. I mean, you've been manning down the shop, slanging some boards and wheels and shoes.
Oh, yeah.
So it's good to have you on a Friday night. Unfortunately, we do not have our very professional-sounding Brit on the other line. He is
that
not,
wanker.
I know. He's not making this cast. And then our female voice, Anna, she's in the middle of the move. So you're stuck with the two-man train wreck.
Just
which is,
the two
again,
of us.
Me, Matt Haywood, basically the leader of Entertainment Buddha, and then Ray Pareca, my lieutenant second in command type of guy. So what we want to talk about today, we're going to title this episode outside the two-man train wreck, but we're gonna give it the Destiny Calls moniker. Why? Well, because a little game has just released to the world in beta form via the PlayStation platforms in Destiny from Bungie. You know, those guys that made Halo. So, Ray, first things first, the beta rolls out yesterday for Destiny on the PS4 and PS3, correct?
Yes.
Everyone's excited. Everyone's waiting for their codes to get emailed, which kind of took Bungie forever to do. That didn't matter because you could go online and find your codes on Bungie.net. So the problem was there was more than just a few of us that wanted to play the beta yesterday. I mean, let's kind of ballpark it. I'm going to say, I don't know, what do you think? 100,000 maybe? I mean, how many? I would say Destiny pre-orders are at least 250,000, if not more than that at this point in time.
Yeah, I don't know the numbers. We should look into that, but a shitload would be the number of people.
Well, I mean, real news organizations would actually check facts before they just wing out numbers, but we're not real. So I'm going to say at minimum it's probably at 250,000 pre-orders at minimum. So the whole point of me talking about pre-orders is if you're a company that deals with digital assets that need to be streamed through the pipes of the internet to people's consoles, devices, whatever you want to call it, you have to know that your network is going to be crunched, stressed, whatever you want to talk about during this type of a launch. And for it seems like the 100th time now, Ray, a company being, I mean, I think we could probably blame Sony and Bungie for this one because I don't think it's all Sony, but the PSN store had issues yesterday too. But I mean, Microsoft just had the same deal with the Titanfall beta back in February and the Elder Scrolls Online launch. I think everyone knows what we're talking about, and that's the whole fucking servers going down, and then you can't do anything. The services are stopped. You can't redeem codes. You can't download, and that hit the Destiny rollout yesterday for the PlayStation platforms, and it was a major freaking bummer. I mean, at one point, Ray and I were trying to redeem our codes just through a browser, and they're telling us that our code sucked.
Yeah,
which was kind of a kick in the balls, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was strange in how it happened. Simply in the fact that you have the code from either the developer, or the publisher, or whatever, however you got it, and I wasn't near my PlayStation, so I couldn't do it through the PSN. For most of the day. So, I had the code and tried to enter it through Bungie's website as they instructed. And we were getting, slapped in the face with invalid code token things and what have you, which, leads you to think, oh shit, did I copy it wrong? Did I write it wrong? Whatever. But
yeah, you feel like an asshole that you can't type in a 9-character code.
Yeah. So, that was a big issue. And throughout, I think the PSN was down intermittently throughout the, morning and afternoon.
I can tell you, I finally got back home at 9:30 p.m. Eastern time. So at that point in time, the beta had been out for almost 8 hours.
Right.
They're available for people to get on the PlayStation platforms. So I got home like, oh, cool. It's probably been long enough. I'll probably be able to get in and download it in maybe an hour tops. No, even that late in the day, it was still midnight, and I still had about 30% of the 13 gig file to download. So I didn't even get to play the beta yesterday. I know, boo, wah, wah. But come on, when you're hyped about something and the companies behind the something are hyping it themselves, you would think they would have their shit together on a launch, even for a beta like that. Like I said, I'm not fanboying out here on Sony or Bungie. This happened with Microsoft and Respawn with Titanfall. This happened with Bethesda with Elder Scrolls Online. I mean, think about the SimCity debacle last year. All this shit is tied to bandwidth issues that are literally shutting servers down because so many people are trying to get to the product they want. And I just don't get it. Like I said, I talked to Ray earlier. I've worked in IT. I've worked in networking. You can plan for massive spikes. Yes, it may cost a little money to add a couple servers here or there, or maybe open up some pipes in your T1 or T3 connections. But we opened this whole discussion with, they know how many freaking pre-orders came in. I mean, the Ghost edition of this damn game sold out within hours on Amazon and in less than 24 hours on GameStop for both consoles, being the PS4 and the Xbox One. So you can't tell me that someone on those teams doesn't have data suggesting, hey guys, we sold a shit ton of pre-orders, and considering one of the gifts for pre-ordering was a beta key, I bet a bunch of gamers are going to try to redeem it and download our beta to play. Maybe we should increase our network traffic, our pipes, our servers, so they can actually play it when we tell them it's going to be open. So all in all, I'm not going to let it ruin my Destiny beta weekend. I don't think Ray is. He's pretty. He's cool as a clam, as we like to say. But it's just a bummer that, I mean, there are some people out here that live and breathe video games. I mean, this is their lives. If it's right or wrong, or if they should get a real job or not, people do schedule off work days to participate in events like yesterday. And when you have the network basically shit the bed, those people are going to be jaded, and it's a shame because the game shouldn't deserve to be looked at as a poor experience because of network issues. And hopefully this will not be the case when the full game launches on September 9th. So.
No, I certainly hope it isn't. And I'll bouncing off of this Destiny debacle, if you will. It kind of brings me to how I feel about digital distribution of products, especially in the games industry. And I'll probably be one of the last people in, the games industry or whatever to say that I cannot stand the idea of games going more towards the strictly digital thing, especially, I mean, I guess with PC gaming, that's par for the course. But in terms of having my PlayStation 4 or Xbox or whatever, I cannot stand it specifically for reasons like this. I like to go to the store, support the business, buy the game, support the developers, etc. And the idea that I have to rely on, Sony's network or things like that just to play a game is super disheartening to me.
Yeah, I'm with you.
It's
it's relying on someone else's ability to produce.
Yeah. I don't give a shit if I go buy a game and I can't play it online because my internet's down or whatever. That's not the end of the world. But the fact that I would spend $60 or whatever dollars to play a game and have to wait for it to download, it be either, appallingly slow or the network not work. I just cannot stand that. That's the kind of stuff that makes me upset. So this is, I think, indicative of a larger problem. And the video game industry is the biggest electronic or entertainment thing in the world right now.
Yeah, I mean,
so how the hell is this still a problem?
And streaming video services, I mean, that's what's eating up this country's bandwidth. And unfortunately, America actually has a pretty piss poor broadband broadband infrastructure to begin with.
Horrible internet to begin with. So.
I mean, if we want a purely digital marketplace, we need to start having storage that is both fast, reliable, and cheap. Because right now the fastest storage is a solid state drive. But you try getting a solid state drive with actual beef to it. I'm talking in the terabyte range for under $800, $1,000. The other thing is your bandwidth. I mean, most of us live in areas that are monopolies when it comes to communications and services. Yeah, I mean, and Comcast just fucking bought Time Warner.
Yeah,
and they were the two big boys to begin with, and now you just have one big boy. And the monopolies are illegal in this country or in a free market economy. Yeah, right. But we need, I mean, even to pull that 13 gig file yesterday, I mean, it probably took my network, I only get 30 megs down, on top of the already stressed out Sony network. I mean, I'd say all in all, it probably took 4 hours. 4 hours to install a beta. Imagine a full game. I mean, some of these games now are pushing 30, 40 gigs. I mean, that's why they're on Blu-ray discs to begin with. I mean, you try to download a 50 gig game on what we have right now, unless you're living in Google, Kansas, or one of these other places that have, fiber or Google speeds, you're going to be waiting hours just to play a damn game you paid for, when you could have probably went to the store, like Ray said, looked at some pretty boxes and talked to the local GameStop employee, came home and had the game ready to go in less time than downloading. And really, to me, downloading is all about convenience. If anything, I mean, it's a convenience thing to me. I'm kind of like Ray at this point. I like having a copy because shit, if anything, I can either sell it to someone or take it back and get some money.
And you and I, we both like to, collect the games and collector's editions, limited stuff like that. Like we get off to, getting all that kind of stuff. So I don't know, maybe as long as they still make that kind of thing, I'll still buy my games from a store.
Well, I mean, speaking of Destiny, they've actually done something interesting. I mean, obviously, you got your regular box. They got the limited box edition, and you got the Ghost edition. But they also releasing a digital deluxe edition.
Right.
So they are giving you, I think, some sort of special reward if you get it digitally. But, I mean, Ray's right, and the writing's on the wall. Digital distribution will start to become the norm. It's just... And we can't even blame the gaming companies, which kind of stinks, or the publishers. We really got to blame America's telecom system, if any, at least for the download speeds. I mean, there's nothing we as consumers or the people making games can do to make people like Comcast or companies like Comcast actually give us affordable, high-speed internet. I mean, when you can get, I believe 10 Benson's gets 100 megs down in Portsmouth, England. Not saying there's anything wrong with the UK, but I'm pretty sure a lot of technological advances have come out of this country. And yeah, we are a great country. We are a huge country. We are a country with a free market. We're supposed to be the land of the free and do your dreams and shit, but
my dream is to play Destiny fast, all right?
Fast,
come on.
Yes, I don't want to wait 4 hours to download a damn beta. That is un-American.
I don't even want to know how long it took me to actually download it because... much like you said, you got home from work late last night. I got home like 8:30 p.m. Finally got the code to work through the PlayStation Store and just started downloading it, put that sucker on standby mode, and didn't even look at my PlayStation until earlier this morning. So I'm sure it probably took me hours.
You should have almost stuck around long enough to actually have the main install going because you're like me, you're into art, game art.
I know. I heard there was like awesome art and stuff.
The one benefit of having to wait 4 hours, if you can actually call that a benefit, was just listening to the music and seeing the art assets scroll by on the screen. Just like a lot of things I've noticed in Destiny, the music is very Halo-like too. Mm-hmm. It's hard not to draw these comparisons to Halo. I mean, if you've been playing the beta or even the alpha, I mean, even some of the fallen enemies look like they're right from Halo. There's enemies that behave like the Flood right from Halo. But anyways, let's quit raining on the Destiny parade because we're really not upset that the beta is here. We're actually really excited, and that's probably why we were a little disappointed we couldn't download it faster yesterday. So outside of all that political and network this and get your shit together on launch day type of talk. Let's talk about the beta itself. Unfortunately, I've yet to tap into it. I did spend a lot of time with the alpha. I maxed out my character. I ran with a warlock with the machine race, which I'll probably continue on in the beta and in the full game. So, Ray, I don't know if you had enough time in between kind of running the show today. Did you get to experience it at all?
Yeah. When I turned my PlayStation on this morning, I saw everything was finally downloaded, ready to go. So I did get to boot it up. I probably got like 45 minutes to an hour of actual play time. So I don't have, a gigantic wealth of experience. That's what I'm hoping to do later tonight, is to sink, a decent amount of time into it. But, dude, it's fun. It really is. Did you pair up with any like random people, or did you just go by yourself? I didn't bother with any of that, specifically because I knew I didn't have a lot of time. And, I can sit and play a game like that for hours and shirk all of my responsibilities. I did not want that to happen this morning. Well, thank you. Yeah. So, I played through, I guess, the first like real mission and then messed around a little bit after that. Was that the one where it's just you and your ghost and you like discover that the Fallen are back or something? We're chillaxing and shooting stuff together. Yeah. But, and I'll preface it by saying I was never a big Halo fan, not a knock against the franchise. I just never owned Xboxes at the time when those were the popular games. So I never really played them too much other than, multiplayer with friends. So I can't base it off of compared to Halo, like I'm sure a lot of people are going to be doing. But it's pretty damn fun. It reminds me a lot of Borderlands 2, and I'm sure it's going to get that comparison a lot. Yeah, with the scores that tick up when you shoot people. Yeah, and to me, that's what makes it so enjoyable. I don't really like the Borderlands franchise all that much either. I like the art and everything, but I like the role-playing aspects of those games. And from what I've seen, Destiny goes above and beyond anything you'd see in Borderlands in terms of that. And I like being able to see the numbers I'm hitting for. I like visually, first of all, holy shit, I forgot to talk about the graphics. It looks pretty damn good for a beta. I'm new to the PlayStation 4 thing, as some of you may know. So it's kind of the first game or experience I've really had on a next-gen system. I can see why it's next-gen. Like, it looks good. It seems to run right at 30 frames right now. On the PS4, rumor has it that the beta on the Xbox One will not run at 30, but the final game should run at 30. The final game... And I spoke to Bungie at E3, and they said the final game on both of the new consoles will be 1080p, 30 FPS. Right. So I think it's shaping up nicely. And as I said, what class did you go with? I play in a hunter, and that's specifically. And then what race did you pick? Human. I gotta start with my humans. I guess I've always wanted to be a machine deep down, so that's probably went with those guys. And I rolled Hunter specifically because, as you and I were talking about the beta earlier in the week, Warlock was the class that stood out to me, but I can't go against my editor-in-chief, so I had to roll something different. The sad thing is I've really been contemplating the whole Warlock deal, and the way I game is more of like a brute type of tank. Yeah, dude. Yeah, you picked the wrong one then probably, huh? Yeah, I don't know. Maybe when the final game comes out and we actually make an official Entertainment Buddha Fire Team campaign playthrough or whatever, we'll get our classes figured out, but... I just remember in the alpha, the Warlock does sound awesome as hell because I get these powers and spells, but in the end, they're a little weak, and the powers really weren't as magical as I thought they would be. Right. But I'm jacked. I mean, it's tough running a website about games when you got to cover a bunch of games. Ray, myself, and some of the team, we all have stuff on our plates to cover. But I definitely hope to dedicate a lot of time to the Destiny beta this week because I want to, do some sort of maybe live stream with a few of us playing. Yeah, I think we'll probably end up doing a couple of streams throughout the week because we have it's through the 23rd, I want to say. Well, here's the deal. The beta,
it began yesterday for the PlayStation family. I believe it's the 21st or the 22nd. The servers are going down to get things prepped for the Xbox family, which comes on the 23rd. Once the Xbox family is on, the servers will be turned back on, and I believe it will run for another 4 days.
Okay.
So PlayStation players can get around 8 days of the beta, where Xbox family, you're looking at about 4 or 5 tops. So, I mean, that's the one thing that's, and I don't know why Xbox people are so upset over all this exclusivity that Sony has, because Microsoft has had it with Call of Duty forever, for years.
Yeah.
It's just called smart business, people. I mean, sorry, it is what it is, and Sony gamers will be getting content first. And it looks like some of the content will be exclusive for upwards of a year, which is nice.
Yeah, that's a
but deep down, and here, this is what's going to come down to me for final platform. I am getting it for both because I'm an asshole and I can. And honestly, I'm probably going to end up giving away a copy of mine through the site because that's just what we do.
So stay tuned for that, everyone.
For those of you that continue to ignore the powers of entertainmentboo.com, you're seriously robbing yourself of free stuff, because
we give away a lot of free stuff.
I mean, we give a lot of free stuff for a small independent site that doesn't have a huge following. And the thing is, people don't understand it, is your odds are amazing in our giveaways, because not only do you enter once, you can earn like fucking 30 entries for some of our contests. But that aside, the ultimate console choice for Destiny for me is going to come down to the chat system. And I'm going to use this weekend in playing with Ray and some other people I haven't actually talked to online. Because the only other dude I've had a chance to chat with on the PS4, he has that bunk-ass PS4 mic. So I think it's mainly his problem, the reason we can't hear each other. But in general, chat quality on a PS4 is garbage. I mean, we're talking very low bit rate. It sounds like a tin can, like, "Hey, Ray, I'm going to go over here and get this right now, Craig." And everyone's just sitting there going, what the fuck is he saying? Or what did he say? Or what did he say? Because I really would love to get the content first, but this is a game to play with people. And if my best friends are the people I want to play with, I can't hear them and they can't hear me, and the whole time we're just sitting there yelling at each other, that is not a fun experience. So that would boost me over to the Xbox One, because I know for a fact that I'm going to have clear chat quality, if anything. And considering the graphics should be the same, the only decision really is the exclusive content. So if you can live without the content and you want great chat, you should go with the Xbox One. If you need the content, your only choice is to go with the PlayStation consoles.
Yeah, and I think with that decision too, it's probably better for people that have the option, I would say sit on it until it's closer to release too, because as we've seen from Sony, like when they do their updates for the PlayStation 4 specifically, like they change a lot of stuff. So I would venture to say if the chat's one of the biggest problems people are having right now, expect like a firmware update sometime soon, closer to the game's release, that should fix or improve them.
Yeah, it'd be a bonus. And it could be my I have the PS Gold wireless headset. Who knows if they're faulty or not. That's why this weekend, hopefully, I can put to bed that it's me, it's my buddy, or it's just in general PlayStation 4 chat blows goats. So that we'll be doing a little testing this weekend in addition to playing games, because we don't just play games, people. We are scientists of video games at this point in time. We are scholars of video gaming. That's why we attempt to write about it. So that'll make up the bulk of our weekend, and I'm assuming most of the other gamers out there, their weekend too, even though you're going to have the people out there like, this is Destiny, it's just a Halo, Borderlands Clan, do something original, PC for life. That type of shit. I mean, sometimes the gaming culture just sickens me.
It's the worst.
We really are the most unhappy group of shitheads on this planet. No one can be happy for anybody or anything unless it's their thing or their own person. I just don't. I don't get the animosity between brands and people sticking up for hardware manufacturers when the Microsofts and Sonys of the world could ultimately give a rat's ass about us. I mean, let's face it. They need us to give them money. That's about it.
Yeah.
They don't really give a shit about our opinions of the other guy. So, Destiny, here we go. This high potential to be game of the year, maybe until we hit October. We again, offline, we're talking that October 2014 is not only going to cost everyone that likes games a shitload of money, but it's also going to cost you a shitload of life.
Yeah.
Because
save your vacation
there's at least
days.
6 games, I think, right?
Yeah.
At least 6 must-play games in 2014 are coming out in October. So I'm sure we'll do a cast just to commemorate the special month and all of us going on unemployment to pay for all the games we need. All right, Ray, so anything else on Destiny, the beta, or life in general? You want to move into some of the games we've been playing?
Like I said, I really wish I had more about Destiny right now, but I just don't have enough time that I'm confident to talk about really anything with it. I can't speak too much for the gameplay. So
yeah, well, maybe we revisit it next week after the team's played it.
We'll be real casting on this again, I'm sure.
By next Friday, the Xbox One version should be out, so I'll be testing that one out too to see if they're really. I don't think visually I'm going to notice anything different. It's going to be the controllers and the chat.
You know what surprised me about the game, and maybe this is me just being ignorant and not following the news up until the beta. Going into third-person mode when you're in the city, I was
dude, in the tower, fucking awesome. Just seeing people. Were you dancing at all?
No, I was jumping around everywhere because love to jump
use
on
the
things.
D-pad. I mean, Bungie actually programmed in dancing, and they mocapped real dancers.
That is so rad.
If you go to the tower and there's other people there, you get a fucking dance party going on. Like, hey, I
was just super. I was charging my phone at the same time. Looked over to my phone right when the game loaded, like me going into the city, I guess, and was like, who the hell is standing in front of me? Only to realize ultimately that it was me in third person.
Yeah.
And the game has
third person in the tower, and in the tower you can run into other gamers too, and you can run into other gamers in the game world. I mean, in the alpha I played, I believe it's called I think an extraction mission or something like that.
I think they're extraction. Yeah, you're right.
And it's you and 2 other people. You go in, and I don't want to say it's like a raid in an MMO, but it sort of is like a raid light, where it's just 3 of you, and you just kind of go through and destroy nasty bosses. I mean, it took 30, 40 minutes to kill one guy with 3 people. Yeah.
And my only other complaint I had was during character creation. I was not happy with the hair choices in the game.
Ooh, yeah, I didn't have the hair problem because I went with the synthetic race.
There's only I'd say there's maybe 9 choices, and a lot of them are like super kind of Justin Bieber-y looking.
Yeah, I didn't feel like there's a ton of choices, period. I mean, I think sometimes we get jaded when we have games like Skyrim where you can basically create anything you want. I mean, my man Perfected Chaos, we have a whole series of custom Skyrim characters on the site because this dude's like a savant when it comes to playing with character editors on a console. But I mean, he created Arnold, King Leonidas, Wolverine, Kratos, Edward Kenway, and they're all pretty damn good.
Yeah, they are good.
But you didn't have that flexibility in Destiny. I don't know if it's a huge deal, but
no, it's not. And I don't require like 400 different hair choices. It's just like the ones that are in the final product, I want them to be like good selections as opposed to like 3 variations of swoopy, shaggy hair.
Yeah, you want your nice thick black Ray hair on.
No, no. I like orange hair for my characters.
That Italian hair.
Yeah. All right, let's
move on to some games we've been playing. We actually the team we got into some lesser known titles this week. The first being Abyss Odyssey from Ace Team, which is published by Atlas.
Yeah.
Abyss Odyssey is and I love saying this, it's a 2D side-scroller rogue-like RPG light fighting game.
Yep, that hits it. That nails it.
If that makes any sense at all, I mean, that's pretty much the genres jammed into this little charming-looking title. And I guess let's just start with the art right off the bat, because I think that's both of us. That's the first thing we said to each other. Like, damn, this game looks fantastic.
And I wonder how much of that has to do with Atlas's being the publisher for the game, because as I think I said to you, a lot of the character art reminds me super a lot of the older like Shin Megami Tensei artwork. There's a skeleton guy playing the guitar, and he looks damn near like the Matador from Nocturne. And I like that kind of art. Kaneko is the artist, I think, that did the Shin Megami stuff. And it reminds me of that. Outside of that, it has this great, it takes place in Chile. There's this great kind of Chilean vibe to it. I've never been to Chile, but I assume that's what Chile's like, I guess I should say.
So I like you're saying, the dude playing, I love.
He's the best character. That
you'll be
dude
traversing
rules.
through the abyss. So I guess let's get into what this game really is before we gush all over it. But Abyss Odyssey, we kind of gave you the genre. Essentially, the gameplay, and it can be co-op, local, or online, which is pretty rad. But you must traverse the abyss, and when you think of the word abyss, that typically means you're down, it's deep in the ocean or whatever. So you have these abysses have opened up in Chile from this evil warlock. Okay, so you control one of 3 warrior characters. They're not regular humans. They're almost like the spirits that are here to assist the humans. Is that kind of how you took it, Ray?
Yeah, what's the girl's name? Corinne?
Catrian.
She says in the first introduction, like, she doesn't even exist. She's an imprint of the mind of the warlock. So, it's super weird.
Shit, yeah. But anyways, the 3 warriors, they're not normal. Let's just leave it at that. And there's one unlocked that when you first start playing, that's Catrian. As you play more, you unlock the Ghost Monk, who's probably my favorite. Yeah. And then there's Pinkoya, who is kind of like a ghost. She uses like a spear and whatnot. So anyways, you have to choose one of these 3 characters, and then you dive into the abyss. The other choice you have is one of 3 starting locations. Okay, so each starting location not only sets the difficulty of your run, but also the potential length of your run. So if you start in the easiest location, you're going to have supposedly, and I say that because this game is challenging as fuck, you're supposedly going to have the easiest trip down the abyss to get to the warlock's pit at the very bottom. But you're going to have to go through a lot more levels to get there. Where if you start in the middle, it's not going to be as easy, but it's less rooms. And then finally, if you start in the most difficult, it's a straight shot to salvation, but it's hard as shit. I mean, Ray and I, we tried the 3rd starting point as a co-op team. And I'm not saying we're fantastic gamers. I think Ray definitely has way more skill than I do. And I think if we had a mic when we were playing, he probably would have fucking chewed my head off.
I was talking into the mic because I had my mic on. I guess it wasn't set up. Not chewing you out, just like...
I at least hit you 500 times.
Yeah,
like,
I would say approximately.
A couple times on purpose, other times because the game, for some reason, implements friendly fire, which in this type of game makes no sense to me, but... It was hard to sell. I mean, we were wasted, 15 minutes? I think we made like 3 or 4 rooms, and that was it. So anyways, I'll let Ray chime in after this. But, I mean, the gameplay itself, so you traverse through the abyss, and it incorporates fighting game controls. I mean, that's what they describe it. To me, it almost felt like a Super Smash Brothers Melee type of feel, which means the characters are a little flighty when you jump. I mean, they almost feel like they don't have gravity being applied to them. And even on the combat swings, like the Ghost Monk, for example, if you take a swing at his double-handed sword and you miss, or you're just spamming buttons, there's a decent amount of delay that opens him up for some cheap attacks. That being said, I mean, the controls aren't the best, but they're not terrible whatsoever. So really, the fun of this game is playing with friends, even playing on your own, and just soaking up the Art Nouveau visual style and challenging yourself. So, I mean, Ray, you're more into the roguelike scene than I am. I mean, what do you think about this game's challenge? Do you like it? Do you feel it's too easy? How do you like its take on permadeath, which I think is kind of neat if you're going to use permadeath?
You know what? I like it. The challenge, that is. I have not had any trouble getting down to the final level. I've not put in enough time to actually beat the final boss. I've been sitting fighting him and, inevitably getting killed. So I think level to level or stage to stage, I guess, the challenge is it's right where, I'm sweating during some of the fights, breezing through some of the easier ones, having a blast with that. The final boss, I think all the boss fights in it, and I wouldn't say they're disproportionately hard, just the mechanics of the game kind of don't work as well.
Well, the one dude, I don't know what we call him. He looks like the Lich King or something. He's like, he randomly spawns.
Oh, yeah.
That's the other thing. This game is all procedural, so it's never the same twice.
Yeah, that dude stuffed us when we were playing.
Yeah, this guy, I mean, he should almost be the end boss. I mean, he takes up almost the entire screen, and he has this horse attack where he calls his horse from off screen to run you over, and it's nearly impossible to avoid the horse.
Yeah, he looks like one of those White Walkers in Game of Thrones.
Yeah, very good description. He looks like a White Walker from the Game of Thrones TV show.
But mechanically, I really do like Abyss Odyssey. I have the same problems you said. Some of the, like, changing your direction after an attack is a little bit slower than it should be, I think. But I love the game's kind of influence from fighting stuff where you can, cancel. You have cancels. Like, you can attack and cancel into a super. It's pretty cool. I've never seen any other game do that. So I was having a lot of fun working, with some of the dashing mechanics into supers and canceling out and back into different ones. So that's fun. I think it's way too hard to try to pull that stuff off playing co-op, though, because the game forces you into a lot of tight locations to fight, and just you end up hitting your teammate way too much. Yeah.
Next time we play, I guess I'll be smart enough and use Skype or something. So
yeah, that's what we'd have to, make sure if you're playing with someone that you're not sitting in the same room as, my recommendation is talk.
Or you'll kill each other. I mean, it's like Ray said, the way this game plays, I mean, it's open, meaning you can go wherever you want, but you will hit certain sections of a level that will put up these shadow barriers, and you will have to kill, at least one or two enemies for the barrier to open up so you can get some moving space again. So when you're there with two human gamers controlling these warriors, just swinging their weapons willy-nilly, and there's projectile-based weapons. I mean, there's no margin for error with your timing and when you decide to attack, because there'd be times Ray's throwing fireballs at my face. I'm shooting fireballs in an arc trying to get over him, but they're still hitting him. And then I'm swinging my sword, and he walks into it and he gets hit, or the enemy would hit him and he'd fly into me, and I'm still swinging my sword, so I'd take even more energy off of Ray. And it was just, after a while, I thought it was kind of funny just to see basically beating the hell out of each other, and the enemies not even having to do anything. But the co-op, I'm not going to say it was a letdown. I mean, any game that offers local co-op these days should be awarded something. Not that we played locally, but it just felt odd that there wasn't an option to turn off friendly fire, because I think if you could turn off friendly fire, co-op would be amazing. I mean, it would be a game where I think you and a buddy could just run through it over and over and over again. And that's the other bonus of Abyss Odyssey. I mean, this title costs $15.
Yeah, it's
a $15 title.
Worth the investment for sure.
I think me alone, I probably put in 4 hours. You can't go to a hour-and-a-half long movie these days for much cheaper than $15. So for a $15 game that I can guarantee you will offer hours and hours and hours of replayability, because there is we didn't really explain the permadeath too well here. It does use permadeath, but it's with a caveat, with a twist, if you will. So if you die, you get one shot. When you die, a regular soldier will spawn in your place. So you then control this soldier, who, they're not complete schlubs, but they're also not as powerful as the main warriors. If you happen to get this soldier and get them to an altar, you can resurrect your warrior and keep playing. And then if your warrior dies again, the soldier comes back, so on and so forth. Now, if you're in soldier form and you die, you are dead. Game over. No more runs through the levels. You're starting back at the top, unless you were fortunate enough to have enough cash to buy a camp token at one of the stores. So there is some strategy in Abyss Odyssey, especially with these camp tokens. They're few and far between. They're expensive. You kind of want to spend your money on weapons and armor, but you also know that you need these damn camp tokens, or you'll end up like Ray and I, where you spend, 30, 40 minutes busting your ass down to the warlock. You get to the warlock, you almost have him beat. He kills you with like a sliver of life left. Not only do you want to slit your wrist, but you're sitting there going, fuck, why didn't I have a camp token? Or why didn't I save a camp token for right before the boss? So there's not permadeath, because even when you do die, you still keep your rank and you still keep your money. You just lose all your weapons and your progress. So I like that take on permadeath, even though I still don't really like permadeath, period. I mean, I had enough permadeath when I was playing Nintendo back in the early 80s, and it about perma gave me a stroke and aneurysm all the time. So I don't have the patience to deal with that shit. But I guess you could say Abyss Odyssey, I died multiple times, and I smiled and came right back for it. So that's only a good thing. Anything else on Abyss, Ray? No. By the way, I think we may have 2 copies for the Xbox 360.
Okay. No, I don't really have anything else. It's fun. It's $14.99. I think you said it. I'd say straight up, it is worth it for sure. It's a fun game. If you like, obviously the roguelike aspect and the procedural generation of the levels adds a lot of replayability. It's awesome character design, cool fighting kind of mechanics. I'd say it's worth it if you have $15 burning a hole in your pocket. And
especially, we all know it, people. I mean, we've been gamers for a long time. All of us, those of you listening. The summer sucks for new releases. I mean, you get shit sporadically peppered in here or there, but for the most part, no good games come out in the summer. So when you get a little title like this for $15, well worth the investment to kind of help transition us back into the fall when we'll get the next round of big AAA and really hot indie releases. Okay, so moving on to another little title, at least I've been checking out this week, and this one is in alpha, so it's very fresh. It's a newborn, if you will. And that is the Red Solstice from Ironward, which is published by Nikidu Games. So I guess the best way to describe this, it's an 8-player co-op survival, top-down, Diablo-like, point-and-click loot game. How's that? Does that make sense?
Sounds good, yeah.
Yeah, so it's set on a not too distant Mars where, humans have inhabited, and in the alpha, the campaign's not open, so I can't really give you much of the backstory. I've only played the multiplayer and the prologue, but essentially, to me, the way it plays is a 8-player co-op Diablo. And if that sounds awesome to you, it's because it is pretty fucking neat.
Sounds pretty awesome.
To have 8 people cooperatively working together to take down the AI. So the one match I played, it took us about 30 minutes. I was just playing with strangers. You're like these marine grunt, interstellar marine, space marine, Gears of War, those, big stocky steroid looking dudes. But you are top down. It's kind of like a real-time strategy look where you're just sitting there and the main control is click, 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 click. I mean, those of you that played Diablo, you know what I mean with the click, click. But your whole goal is to survive. So it's almost like the multiplayer is kind of like a horde mode where I believe the campaign itself will actually be 8 people rolling through the campaign trying to survive.
That's pretty cool.
So yeah, some of the things you could do, there's hotkeys for abilities. Again, with all these people, there is teamwork involved. So some people will be healing specialists, others will be able to buff up your guns. You can set an auto aim because this game really is about surviving. I mean, it tells you in the multiplayer as you're playing, you do not want to sit still for a certain period of time. Your team always has to be moving. So you can turn on this auto aim as you're plotting your next destination. Your little dude will be sitting there like, be like blasting shit out of nowhere like an auto turret. I think it's cool. I want to get Ray and some of the other team members in to do like a little run next week so we can all kind of flesh it out. But I definitely plan on releasing some sort of our own brand of Let's Play, which we've been doing. I mean, let's face it, guys. No one needs to see myself or Ray or Tim Benson's talk while we're explaining a video game to you. So we're just going to play the damn game. We're going to make sure we get a damn fine recording, and then we're going to load it up and we're going to do a professional voiceover. To me, I think you're going to get more value out of that than watching someone like PewDiePie sit there and make faces and act like a jackass. But that's also why he has 28 million subs. And we have 262, period. Not 1,000, 262. So look for more on the Red Solstice. It's an early access on Steam. It's an alpha. I don't know what it runs yet. I'm not a real big fan of the whole early access movement, to be honest with you. I think it's neat in a sense, but at the same time, when developers or publishers are charging $15, $20, $30 for an alpha game, that just is ridiculous. Not that I'm saying the Red Solstice is doing that, but there are games out there on Steam Early Access that cost as much as retail games, and they're not finished experiences. But if you're into the whole, like I said, the Diablo, the looting, the exploring, the clicking, and the violence and aliens, I think Red Solstice is a title for you to put on your radar. Hopefully with my coverage and a preview, it'll get you even more excited. So check for that in the next week. I'm hoping to get that out. Now, Ray, I mean, I know you are a student of gaming like myself. You're always playing games. Now that I'm on Steam more, I see you change games about every 10 minutes. Yeah. I can tell when you haven't had your ADD medicine or something.
Yeah, that's generally that. If you see me switching stuff every couple minutes.
You really should watch this. You know, if you use Steam, it's just like Xbox or PS4. If you keep the overlay on, you know, you'll get messages about what your friends are doing. And it literally, it's 10, 15 minutes. Ray's playing Fallout New Vegas. 10 minutes later, Ray is now playing a new game. 10 minutes later, Ray's playing another game. And these aren't just little casual indie games that you can just, you know, play real quick and feel satisfied. I mean, he's firing up Fallout New Vegas for 10 minutes and moving on to another game. It's fantastic. But with that being said, do you have anything you've been playing recently that you want to discuss?
Let's see. Well, not playing, but right before I turned my computer on to start doing the podcast, I did get a package from Amazon today. And in it is Wario World for the Nintendo GameCube. So I'm pretty stoked about that.
See what I mean, people? I mean, this guy, he cannot get out of the past, even though it's basically his childhood.
I've never played it before. I know it's made by Treasure, who make awesome games. So I'm pretty excited. I got it for real cheap. And yeah, so I'm excited about that. Otherwise, like you said, I've started playing New Vegas again, mainly because I had it installed on my computer and I haven't played it in a couple years, and you know, put some of the mods on it and things like that. So I've been messing around with that. I've been playing. That's pretty much it. I haven't had a lot of time. That's why I'm excited about this weekend. Like I took off work today.
You, dude. I'm definitely getting in some time because I'm.
Yeah, it's long due for the two of us.
Last week, basically from Sunday to Wednesday was like a hell week for me in particular. I mean, again, running an indie site, it's on you to keep it alive and well and getting traffic. I mean, let's be real. It's hard to ask people to work for free. That's why I've finding Ray here was such a bonus for the site, because he has the same level of passion that I do. So he understands what goes into making this site successful and the work you have to do. Sometimes it's hard to get our other staff members to understand that. Not that they don't do a fantastic job. It's just a day like Monday really rubbed me the wrong way because, you know, there's nothing Ray could do. He had to work. Internet was down, something like that.
Oh, yeah, no air conditioning.
Yeah,
no electricity.
It was a miserable day for him, too.
Oh, my God.
But I'm coming off of, I have Abyss Odyssey is due Tuesday morning at 3 a.m. I mean, that's when the embargo's up. Whenever I take on a review from a publisher and I get it before the game is actually released, I vow to have it done on time. That's just how I fucking operate. So I was going to get Abyss Odyssey done, ready to preview, review, whatnot, before the cutoff date, but that required me to work a full day on Entertainment Buddha to just get posts out and content and hits coming in. So at night, I then had to play the game, take recordings, edit the recordings, write the review, do the Let's Plays. So, I mean, by Wednesday of this week, I was fucking torched with the site. That's why today, having Ray basically run the show like I usually do was a fucking gift. This is the first day in months that I don't think I've actually contributed a damn thing to the site outside of recording this podcast, and that's fucking fantastic. So thanks, buddy.
Oh, my pleasure.
All right, just to wrap the cast, sometimes our site is Entertainment Buddha, and our saying is we make you a better geek one post at a time, and I genuinely believe in that. I don't think that's just a cool catchphrase. I really do. We really do try to put out posts that we feel are informative and that other people care about. We're not like, and we can't like these other sites. We don't have hundreds of people, or we don't have a community members that literally work for free for hours and hours and hours to do stuff. So we tend to choose the content that A, interests us, and B, we know will interest you. So it's just, all in all, I know this sounds like a bitch fest, but Entertainment Buddha, we do all things geek, man, anything entertainment. So I just want to wrap the Buddhacast talking about a fantastic film I just saw, and that is Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, directed by Matt Reeves, starring none other than my man Andy Serkis, who, by the way, at this point in time, the fact that this guy still has not been recognized by all the Hollywood award shows and industry awards, it's a fucking shame.
Well, yeah, he should have his own category every year he has a movie. Like,
and if you people don't know who we're talking about, Andy Serkis is the guy. He's Gollum, okay? He is the guy
he's King effing Kong.
Yeah, he's King Kong. And now in the Apes movies, he's Caesar. I mean, and he got these roles because of his work with Gollum. I mean, he's truly the first actor. I mean, I know you could say Ahmad Best dressed in mocap to play Jar Jar fucking Binks, but Serkis is the first guy that actually portrayed a fully digital character and actually was able to relay emotions to the viewers. Because, Gollum is a tragic character, and Serkis made him believable. And, transitioning into the Apes movies, playing Caesar, who is the ultimately the first intelligent ape that frees all the other ones. And in his performance in Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, you go there and you sit there and you're watching fucking CG monkeys for 2 hours straight, okay? Let's be real. CG monkeys, but A, the technology is so perfected at this point in time, and B, Serkis is so damn good at mocap that you forget that you're looking at computer-generated images and you feel like you're watching an actual actor. And that's one of the beauties of the Apes movies, and especially Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, which I reviewed on Monday. Like I said, I did 3 reviews on Monday, so it's a busy life. But I gave it 100. I mean, I gave it a perfect score. It's a movie where there isn't a single glaring issue. You get the message of the film. I mean, it's a great science fiction. It's a great movie to think about a what if. Like, yeah, could this really happen? But I mean, it hits on some common tones that all of us deal with, not just monkeys. I mean, in society, you're always going to have fucking shitheads that try to take down their own race and everyone else with them for their own agenda, and that's kind of at the heart of Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. But if you enjoyed the first one, or if you haven't even seen the first, no, I'm not talking about the 1968 version, although that is a classic fucking movie. Have you ever watched any of these, Ray?
I have not seen the new ones, but I've seen the original film, yes.
That original one, it still holds up today.
No, yeah, it's still a great. I watched it probably 2 years ago. The costumes are a little fucking goofy. Yeah. The monkeys really look odd. And actually, I liked that in the reboot, they decided, we're not going to make them look part human. Right.
We're going to just basically have them stand up and do sign language and talk every once in a while. But for you yourself and anyone listening, if you need a good film to watch this week, and then a film to watch in theaters, get Rise of the Planet of the Apes, watch that, and then go watch Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. I guarantee you will not be disappointed. These movies they're just great fucking movies, and Dawn of the Planet of the Apes is even better than Rise. So there's my glowing recommendation for a movie that doesn't need it. I mean, it's already made hundreds of millions of dollars, but for those of you listening, if you're sitting around going, man, I think the Hercules movie is going to suck, or it's another week until Guardians of the Galaxy comes out, definitely take yourself to the theater and check out Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. It's fucking money. No doubt about it.
Boom.
Get some. So, folks, I think that's it for us. Again, the two-man train wreck, we're pretty good at keeping this under an hour. When we don't have Mr. Benson's and Anna here to slow us down. Just kidding, Benson's. I know you're listening. Just kidding, buddy. We love you and we miss you. You too, Anna. So, anyways, going around the table, I'm Matt Haywood. You can follow me on Twitter at MATTR Haywood, and that's HEY, not HAY, people. You can spell hay with an E, not just an A. Also, for the site, hit up at @Buddha. And if you don't know how to spell Buddha, remember it's BUDDHA, not AH. Not everything has to be Americanized. Hit us up on Facebook, Entertainment Buddha. Hit us up on Google+. Yes, we use Google+. Why the fuck not? YouTube, we're everywhere. You can just go to the site and click on the little social universal icon and you can see all the sites that we're on, and please follow us there. I shit you not, you will be entertained. You will appreciate our content. Yes, we do put out some stuff that the big boys do, but there are some times we put out stuff that they don't, or we beat them to the stuff. If anything, we're fucking masters at digging up web gems. And by web gems, I mean all that stupid stuff people throw on the internet, but it's funny as hell and you need to watch it. So those are my plugs. I'm going to pass it over to Ray. What do you got for us, buddy? What are you selling this week?
I'm not selling anything, but if you want to follow me on Twitter, I am at Wu-Tang Clam.
Can't forget that one, or fuck up at spelling.
No, it's pretty hard to. But that's really it, I think, for me. So yeah, just head over to the site. Don't follow me on Twitter. Just go to the website and read every day.
Yeah, hook us up.
Validate my existence some more.
Yeah, we're humans too, and we're not going to lie. Sometimes when we look at our follower numbers and our traffic numbers, it kind of hurts us, you know? We take it personally, damn it. We're busting our ass to make you better geeks. So, throw us some hits, throw us some clicks, throw us some subs. We will love you for it, and there's a good chance you'll get something for free.
Out of it.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I still have a closet full of E3 2014 shit to give away. I've just been so busy, and my shipping manager has a new job, so I haven't been able to get stuff sent out on time. But like I said, we give shit away. We geeks. We hang out. We make original content. We do vlogs. We do Let's Plays. We do Buddhacasts. We're all over the fucking map. We just need more exposure, and that is your job, Buddha Nation. Tell your friends, tell your enemies, tell your mom, tell your grandma, tell your dead cat. We are entertainmentbuddha.com. Thanks again for checking out episode 10 of the Buddhacast. I'm Matt Haywood signing off. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the Destiny beta. Peace, gamers. We love you.
Later.